Hi, this is Brendan Davis from Bedrock Games and the Bedrock blog, and today I want to talk about Angela Mao. I'm going to be discussing three sets from Shout Factory that contain her movies, and I'm also going to start just by talking about her a little bit for those who might not know about her. Angela Mao is a famous martial arts actress from the 70s, and she's probably most well known for playing Bruce Lee's sister in Enter the Dragon, but she was in a bunch of movies where she was the lead, and she's kind of known for her kicks and for her really authentic performance. She, in my mind, she's one of the most authentic martial arts action stars from the period, if not the most. Um, I would compare her to a cross between Bruce Lee and one of the Venom mob actors. She has that combination of like authentic martial arts with a Peking opera acrobatic background, and I think that just works brilliantly on screen. She can do all the things that you expect a martial artist to do, but you don't. Martial artists sometimes falter when it comes to the more acrobatic stuff. She can do that as well. So I find her performance is very convincing, and her physical fighting is very intense, very graceful, but explosive. And like I said, she's known for her kicks. My background was in Taekwondo. She's very famous for her Hapkido, and that's another Korean martial art that also involves kicks, though it's got a little bit more of a sort of punch and throw element to it as well. And so I feel like I have a real eye for kicks, and her kicking is, I think, some of the best you'll ever see. If you look at the way that she moves her hips, the way that she moves her footwork, the way that and a lot of the kicks that she does are tornado kicks, spinning hook kicks, wheel kicks, wheels where kicks where rotation of the body is important, where you're spinning around and you get a lot of torque, and those are hard to do, and they're very even people that can do them convincingly on screen, sometimes they're not really kicking, and she's capable of doing real kicks. So you get that. To me, watching her, it's that similar feeling to watching a Bruce Lee movie, where you know that this person is capable of delivering. If when they punch on screen, they can really, deliver a punch. Her movies are cinematic, and I'm not 100% clear on her martial arts training. I know that she started in Peking opera, so she got the acrobatics, the singing, and the ballet. Uh, and I believe she also had martial arts training from a young age. I'm pretty sure in Hapkido. Uh, but by the time she was a star, she was also further developing that, and I think she was eventually given an honorary second degree black belt in Hapkido. I'm assuming if it's an honorary second degree black belt that she already had a regular first degree black belt, but I can't verify that because it's a lot of this stuff is unfortunately martial arts information. Even those who practiced it, you a lot of it's hearsay or on the internet or from dubious biographies. So if anybody has solid information on her martial arts training, I'd certainly like to post that at the bottom. So feel free to chime in. And I'm by no means an expert on the biographies of martial arts film stars. So, anyways, the movies that I want to talk about or actually the collections, are the Angela Mao Collection, martial arts double feature, and martial arts movie marathon 2. These all have Angela Mao movies in them. The two that feature her exclusively are martial arts double feature and the Angela Mao Ying collection. Martial Arts Marathon 2 has The Fate of Lee Khan, which is an excellent movie, and she has an important role in it. She's part of a much bigger cast, so she's not the star, but she really stands out in it. I think if you like Angela Mao, you should absolutely check out The Fate of Lee Khan. So the first one we'll talk about is the Angela Mao Ying collection. This is a really solid collection. It's only about $22. It's got 6 movies on it. The When Taekwondo Strikes, The Tournament, Stoner, The Himalayan, A Queen's Ransom, and Broken Oath. I think A Broken Oath is the best movie in the lot. It looks the best in terms of the quality of the film and the restoration. The sound quality is probably the best out of all of them, and I think it has the best storyline and the best action sequences. It's also got a nice combination of weapons and unarmed, open-handed techniques. So It's a tale of revenge. She's basically her mother dies giving birth to her as a child, and she finds that she's filled with this desire for revenge. And when she learns more about her past, it sets her on a path of revenge, and it culminates in a really wonderful final battle. And it's a really sort of brutal, journey for her character. It's really it's it's the kind of hero where she gets battered and bruised along the way, and that sometimes I think lends more authenticity to the character and the story. So definitely Broken Oath is the best in the lot. But I also really like When Taekwondo Strikes, which it's kind of grainy. The image quality isn't so great. But it features Taekwondo. It opens with this really great Pumse sequence where they're doing a Taekwondo form, and it's a kind of Japanese occupation movie. A lot of these are Japanese occupation movies. But I thought that the fight choreography was great in that one, and the tournament is also really interesting because that features Muay Thai, and there was kind of like a little brief craze during this period around Muay Thai in these movies, and she has to go to Thailand, and her brother fights in a Muay Thai tournament with another student from their school, and one of them gets killed. The brother gets defeated, and they're humiliated, and they have to sort of figure out a way to go back and regain some honor. And so I thought it was great because the Muay Thai sequences are really convincing. And again, I've done Muay Thai in the past. I've done Taekwondo and Muay Thai, and I found the fight scenes. I mean, they're still cinematic, but they looked. Sometimes they'll do Muay Thai and it won't really be Muay Thai, and this looked like Muay Thai. But they also accounted for the cultural aspects of Muay Thai. One of the things that surprised me when I was learning Muay Thai is women aren't even like allowed to touch the equipment. They weren't even allowed to go in. They weren't allowed to fight in the ring, to go in the ring. A lot of that has changed, but there was still these taboos if you trained with people from Thailand that that would just as somebody from the U.S. was a surprise to me, and they account for that in the story. She has to get in the ring and fight somehow, but they address that point, and so number one, you still get to see her fight Muay Thai in the ring, but they don't just hand wave that. They address it, and they acknowledge that it's a feature of the Muay Thai culture. So just all around, I thought the Muay Thai was convincing, and the story was really great. I've seen a lot of people describe it as kind of not I don't know, average, but I found the way that they propelled the story forward to be very moving and very interesting, and I'm sure I've seen variations of it before, but it was particularly well done here. And one of the great things about the movies in this collection, and pretty much any Angela Mao film, is Sammo Hung is in a ton of them, and so I think they have really good chemistry, both when they're fighting each other, but also when they're paired together as allies. So you get to see a lot of Sammo Hung in these movies. Now the Stoner movie and A Queen's Ransom are kind of unusual in that she's not really the star of those. I think in Stoner she's more of a co-star, so that fits the collection a little bit more. But A Queen's Ransom, she's one among many in an all-star cast, and so she has kind of a small role. It's still an important role. You still get to see her fight, but you'll be waiting a long time if you pop that in. You're expecting to see Angela Mao right away. So if you watch those, just know that they're not as much Angela Mao vehicles as the other films. They're both interesting. Stoner is one of the weirdest films I've ever seen. The fight scenes are pretty cool in it, and it's kind of a 70s, I don't know, detective movie. It's a little hard to describe. It's almost got almost has like a proto police story vibe to it, but it's just really weird. And A Queen's Ransom is a really good movie. I think the image quality isn't all that great in the restoration here, but you can still get into it. I think it's a well done film, and it has, like I said, it has an all-star cast. So Jimmy Wang Yu is in it, Bolo Young is in it. There's a lot of it's definitely it's definitely worth checking out, and I understand why they put in the collection. I just think that there might have been other movies that made it fit better as the Angela Mao collection. But again, I don't know what reasons they have for compiling them the way they do. Now the next one is martial arts double features, and this features two Angela Mao movies, and it's Lady Whirlwind and Hapkido, and these are both awesome movies. These are I would recommend, if you haven't seen Angela Mao before, maybe getting this one first. I think this one you get a lot more movies, but I think you get two really solid Angela Mao vehicles in this one, and I think it's about the same price as the Angela Mao collection, so you aren't getting quite as much bang for your buck, but you're getting two really. These are very good examples of Angela Mao. Hapkido is also features Sammo Hung, and they're Chinese students that train in a Taekwondo school in a Hapkido school in Korea, and then they end up having to flee back into China, and then they run into problems with the Japanese, and it becomes Japanese versus Chinese school story. But it's really entertaining, and the fight choreography is great, and I think it's probably the best in terms of image quality of all these films. It just looks really good. It's well preserved. And Lady Whirlwind is, I think, one of her first movies, but I think it's probably the best one in my opinion. It doesn't quite have the same. The image quality isn't as good as Hapkido. It hasn't. I don't know if it's the restoration or what, but it just doesn't look quite as clean. And it might just be because it was maybe lower budget or something. I don't know, but it's a really cool story, and it's a really unusual story with a weird ending. The basic storyline is that she's the sister of a woman who has committed suicide because her husband or her boyfriend has left her, and so she is going to seek revenge against this man. And when she finally gets to him, she realizes that he's a bit of a hero, and he's been either abducted or killed by the Japanese. So she has to sort of rescue him so that she can get revenge against him, and then she has to let him get revenge. And so there's this whole thing where it's like this really complicated. She's helping him in order to eventually get her revenge against him, and there's a lot of other aspects to it as well. But again, great fight choreography, wonderful kicks, and the ending. I don't know. To me, it's one of the most unusual endings I have seen. I don't want to spoil it for anyone, so it's hard to talk about without doing so. But I'll just say the flow, the rhythm, and the way the what actually happens is when I first saw it was not at all what I expected it to be. So again, that's another really good set. It's the martial arts double feature. And then finally, there's Martial Arts Movie Marathon 2. This has the Fatally Khan on it, and it's worth it just for that. There's also other great movies in this set, but that is a King Hu movie. I'm a big fan of King Hu, as you know, and she plays a member of the staff of a restaurant or inn that's sort of the center of the movie, and so she has plenty to do in the movie, but there's a lot of other people, and so she's not the sole star, but I think it's still I think she really shines in it, and it's worth checking out if you're either a fan of her or just a fan of good martial arts movies. And if you haven't seen King Hu, it's a good place to start. It's a really great film. I think it's one of his better movies, and it's maybe one of the better ones to start on if you've never seen King Hu. And Touch of Zen is maybe a little bit too much for your first go. So again, Angela Mao. I'll post links to the DVDs in the bottom. They're all done by Shout Factory. Again, the image quality in these is hit or miss, I think, and similar to the sound quality. And I know I didn't talk about all of them. There's also I think I failed to mention the Himalayan, which is a pretty cool movie with and that's on the Angela Mao collection, and the villain is just really vicious and mean in it, and it's a wonderful film, but the image quality I thought was not that great. And I think that's just the restoration. So I don't know if these are movies that maybe there's better versions of out there somewhere, but again, you could these are you can get them all here. If I think if you're not if you're I think if you're accustomed to watching movies that are a little grainy, none of this will bother you. But I know a lot of people might be more accustomed to movies that are like fully restored and don't have that hint of graininess. That's not the case with these. These still have the graininess. Whether that can be surmounted by another restoration somewhere, I don't know. But I would say look past that, because what you're watching these for is the physical performance. You're watching these to watch your martial arts. You don't need a glossy, fully restored version of the movie. And some of them look quite good, so I don't want to give the wrong impression. But some of them, like when Taekwondo strikes, you know, if it looks like it was made in the 50s or 60s, and it has a very the sound, the image, it's all kind of faded. So you do have to get used to that. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes, I find, whenever you're watching a movie that's got that issue going on. But the fight scenes are worth it, and she is when it comes to kicks, I think she's probably the best or one of the best. So and I don't want to get into a debate on that right now. So maybe I'll do another video where we talk about that kind of topic. But she's really good at kicking, and it's very convincing, very aggressive, very effective kicks. So I highly recommend checking her out. I believe if you have Amazon Prime, that there are a lot of her movies available for free to stream, and you might even be able to rent them or buy them cheaper than the physical copies here. But these Shout Factory ones are pretty good. So, all right, I will be on again. I know it's been a while. I've been very busy. And I'm going to be talking about some Michelle Yeoh movies. And I'm probably going to do one or two more Angela Mao movies where I specifically review an individual film. But today I just kind of wanted to do a lot of stuff because I hadn't been on in a while. I'm sorry if we breezed over anything or whatever. Feel free to post comments below. I'm curious to hear what other people think. And until then, I will talk to you later.